Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Thursday, the 31st of August. Good to have you aboard. Presented, as always, by our title sponsor, Anidjar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. If you've been involved in any kind of an accident, I send you word. They're going to get you the money you deserve while treating you like family, which is the kind of care you need when you're dealing with a personal injury. Anidjar and Levine, Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. Glad to have you here with us. We're almost there. It's almost the weekend, but tonight we're going to whet your appetite a little bit as we got college football week 1 underway. We got the Florida Gators. The Gators are taking on the Utes. Florida, Utah tonight. Utah, last I checked, 4.5-point favorite. I think they opened up much higher than that, maybe like 9.5. Utah, 4.5-point favorite. So we got the Gators on television tonight. I'm looking forward to that. Very exciting times. Now, I'm also going to be on ESPN Radio this afternoon. So I hope you guys tune in. I'm filling in Afternoon Drive once again, Canty and Carlin. So from 3 to 7 p.m., I'll be on ESPN Radio, filling in with my guy Mark Zinno. We did Canty and Carlin last Friday, I believe it was. So I'll be hosting Canty and Carlin today, 3 to 7 p.m. You can listen SiriusXM Channel 80, ESPN Radio, or on the ESPN app. You got those tabs on the bottom there. You click listen. You can find it, ESPN Radio. Now, of course, ESPN West Palm, 106.3 FM. That's the local ESPN affiliate here. But they also have local programming. They don't always have the syndication. On the weekends, you could always hear me on ESPN Radio on ESPN 106.3 FM West Palm because they have all national on the weekend. But during the week, they have their own programming. So I don't know that you'll be able to get it there, 106.3 FM. So either on the ESPN app you can listen, or of course, ESPN Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 80. Looking forward to that. I'll be on ESPN Radio again this afternoon. You may notice, look at this right here, a new little addition to the video background portion of ZASLOW Show 2.0. That's my guy right there, Matthew Tkachuk. That, of course, if you could see, that's when he's skating over to the bench with 4.3 seconds left in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals after he scores the winning goal for the Panthers. I think that made it 3-2, 4-3 maybe. The winning goal for the Panthers to win the Eastern Conference Championship and complete the sweep of those bastard Carolina Hurricanes. Tkachuk with the goal, skates over the bench. They're all so excited. One of the best moments of my life. Oh my God, what a run. And I told you guys yesterday, I miss the Panthers so much, man. I miss them so much. And so I'm impulsive. And I did an impulsive thing yesterday. I miss them so much. You know what? I'm gonna go print out a Matthew Tkachuk Florida Panther picture, and I'm gonna post it on my background here for ZASLOW Show 2.0. So there it is right there. That's a nice little addition, right? And next to each other, you got arguably the two greatest moments in Florida Panthers history, right? Where here, you have Tkachuk's game winner with 4.3 seconds left to win the Eastern Conference Championship. And right over here, you got the diagram. You got the play of the goal from Billy Lindsay in Game 5 of the 1996 quarterfinals against the Boston Bruins, where Billy skates around Raymond Bourque and he beats Tim Ranford. Was that his name? Tim Ranford? And he beats Ranford for the game-winning goal there in the third period, and the Panthers would win that series. So two of the greatest goals in Panthers history right here, immortalized on the wall here in the ZASLOW Mansion studio. So there you go. I miss the Panthers so much. Apparently, like I mentioned that on Twitter. You can always follow me, hit me up at ZASLOW Show. And I mentioned that on Twitter today. And apparently we're 42 days away from Panthers season start. I can't wait. It's a great time of year. Panthers are right around the corner. Heat are right around the corner. Tomorrow's September, which means training camps are getting going for both those clubs. You got the college football, like kind of officially feels like it's back tonight because this is week 1. Gators are playing tonight. Hurricanes are playing tomorrow. It's all happening. Major League Baseball players, Marlins are done. Marlins are so done. They just got swept. They lost 8-2 a couple nights ago to Tampa at home. They lost 3-0 last night. This David Robertson is a real piece of shit. Like Kim Ming, she went out and did a great thing, got the best reliever out there available on the market from the Mets, traded for David Robertson, and he's turned out to be a real piece of shit. I mean, he's blown so many games. He's blown at least 3 saves, and last night wasn't a save opportunity. It was the 10th inning and the game was tied. He gave up 3 runs. He's a real piece of shit, David Robertson. So the Marlins, they're now under 500 for the first time since May. Yep. And yeah, they're done. Marlins are done. And I guess you could say, look, they held this over until football season. They did their job. But the way that things were going, I was thinking about going to my first ever Major League Baseball postseason game. I mean, the Marlins were 14 games over 500 at the All-Star break. They were 53 and 39. They are now 66 and 67. So 53 and 39 at the All-Star break. And since the All-Star break, the Marlins are 13 and 28. Holy shit. Just what a collapse. And they can't hit. And Kimming did a nice job. You can't falter for adding David Robertson. Josh Bell, Jake Berger. These were good additions. And guys who are going to be on the team next year. Not Robertson. And guys who are going to be on the team next year. But just an epic collapse. They're done. Like, you don't have to pay attention. Any kind of wild card standings. The Marlins are toast. They're probably not even going to finish over 500 at this point. They're under 500 now. So that's super disappointing. Now, last night, so Inter Miami back in action last night. And you guys be saying to yourself, Zaslow, did you sell your Inter Miami tickets? Because last night was the first game, the first MLS home game where season ticket holders, and I don't know if you know, I'm an inaugural season ticket holder. Season ticket holders, they have tickets for the game last night. We didn't have tickets for Leagues Cup games, or even the U.S. Open Cup, which that game was on the road. Yeah, anyway. So last night I had my tickets, and I already told you, I'm selling my tickets. I'm selling them. I'm going to make back a ton of money. The demand is there because they hadn't lost. They were 9-0 at that point going into last night's game with Lionel Messi. And I'm going to sell these tickets. And obviously I'm re-upping for next year. And I'll sell a bunch next year, but also go to a lot next year. And it'll all pay for itself. So, yeah, I sold the tickets last night. Got a nice little return. How about that? And we're watching the game at home. And so, they didn't even have that many great chances. It's the second time they played Nashville. And I said this yesterday where you wonder, and Nashville was a tight game anyway. Remember, they beat Nashville in the Leagues Cup finals. You wonder if when they're facing some of these teams for a second time, and yesterday, ESPN's Luis Miguel Echegaray joined us on the show, and he mentioned this as well where, maybe teams are not going to be as starstruck the second time around. And not that Nashville was starstruck the first time around because they weren't. They had a 2-0 lead on Inter Miami. But last night, Inter Miami had the ball most of the game. Inter Miami controlled the game, but didn't really feel like they had many great chances. Had a couple free kicks. Messi had a couple free kicks right outside the 18. One of them was blocked by the wall. The other one, the goalie, made a easy enough save. But Inter Miami it was a draw last night. 0-0. 0-0. We're an inclusive soccer show. 0-0. That means it was scoreless. So a 0-0 draw last night against Nashville. And the first game that Inter Miami, with Messi, did not win. Now, they had 3 or 4 games where full time ends and it's tied. And then they would go to penalties. Or like in the U.S. Open Cup, they would go to extra time and then ended up having to go to penalties. MLS game just ends in a draw. So Inter Miami gets a point last night. They are 10 points back of the final playoff spot with 10 games to go. Can't afford not to win these games, especially at home. So, like I said, they probably have to win 9 or 10 of the final 12 games in order to make the playoffs. So let's say they have to win 10 of 12 to make the playoffs. Well, and I'm not talking about one of those games could be a draw. I'm talking about win 10 of 12 and maybe one of the 2 games that they don't win is a draw. Well, they gave one of those games away already last night. So now, with 10 games remaining, probably down to having to win 9 of the final 10. Draws aren't going to cut it. So last night was not a good result for Inter Miami. Better than a loss. You got to get a point, but not a good result there last night for Inter Miami. So, and by the way, because of international call-ups, on September 9th, which is a home game, sucks that it's a home game, because it's a home game against Sporting Kansas City Sporting, however the hell they say their name. Drake Callender has been called up to national. Bana Kramaski has been called up to national. And I don't think Messi's going to be available there either. So they're going to be very shorthanded, that September 9th game against Sporting KC. Last night was a game that you got to get. So not a good result last night for Inter Miami. Obviously, still so much fun watching. Sucks they didn't score a goal. Because look, and you know what? Last night was a good thing for MLS. Because the talk has been Messi. Yes, Messi's amazing, but he's so dominant because MLS is a shit league. All right, well, Inter Miami's been a juggernaut. And last night was a much harder game. Inter Miami didn't score. And they didn't even have that many great chances. So now they're playing a good team. Nationally, I think they're like 7th in the Eastern Conference. But last night was probably a good sign for MLS. Where, all right, you know, league may not be as easy as people originally thought. All right, there you have it. Let's get to some Dolphin stuff, and there is Dolphin news, and it's kind of negative Dolphin news today. But first, guys, I've been getting my homeowner's insurance through Brunt Insurance for about 10 years now. Yeah, 10 years. And that's because not only do I know that my home is covered, I'm not going to have any problems, God forbid there's some type of disaster, but I get my homeowner's insurance at the best rate out there. Call Brunt Insurance today. Even if you have homeowner's insurance, compare. Call Brunt Insurance, 954-589-2204. Make sure you're getting the best rate out there. Because I'm telling you, you're going to call Brunt Insurance at 954-589-2204, and you're going to see, wow, I should be paying so much less. I'm switching on over to Brunt Insurance. BruntInsurance.com, 954-589-2204, and with offices all throughout the state of Florida, you could be calling from anywhere. Wherever you're calling from in Florida, Greg Brunt and his team at Brunt Insurance, they have the expertise and the experience to find the right coverage for you wherever you're calling from. 954-589-2204. You're making the right call. And that includes comprehensive policies both on trailers and motorhomes. If you need insurance on your car, your motorcycle, your boat, I've been getting my homeowner's insurance through Brunt Insurance, but they're going to cover everything you need. 954-589-2204. Look, there are so many options out there. You may not be getting the right coverage. You may not be getting enough coverage. Well, at Brunt Insurance, they specialize in making all those confusing options out there crystal clear. 954-589-2204, bruntinsurance.com. So, Dolphins today placed Jeff Wilson on injured reserve. He might miss the whole season. He doesn't have to. I mean, it's the same injured reserve Jalen Ramsey's on. But it's looking like Jeff Wilson might be out for the season. So he's on injured reserve. That's shitty news, but I really don't think it's a big deal because, look, even without acquiring Jonathan Taylor, you got Raheem Mostert, you got Devin Achane, you got Savon Ahmed. You got 3 guys there who you like. And they got the rookie, what's his name, Brooks. It's 4 guys right there. You could always go pick somebody up. I know Myles Gaskin, they released, I think he was picked up by Minnesota yesterday or 2 days ago. And I think yesterday. But Jeff Wilson, he's on injured reserve, probably going to miss the whole season. I got to tell you, though, I'm starting now to get really excited for the start of the season. And it's different from most years because, yes, we were excited going into last year. You just acquired Tyreek Hill. But it feels different the start of this year from most years because we know they're awesome and we know they're going to be a lot of fun. We were hoping they were going to be a lot of fun last year. Nobody thought they were going to be as good as they were. You didn't expect the offense to be one of the best in the entire National Football League. You couldn't have expected Tua to put up elite numbers and be in the MVP conversation. We know what Tua is now. We know what Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle look like out there. And now, of course, you got a new defensive coordinator. It feels different going into this season from most years. We know they're awesome, and we know they're going to be a lot of fun. So I'm at the point now where, yeah, I'm starting to get super excited for the start of Dolphin season. Now, it's Thursday. Couple things we always do on Thursdays. ZASLOW Show 2.0 mailbag, that's coming up. Also, Jamie Eisenberg, CBS Sports Fantasy Football. He's going to join us as well. During the season, he'll answer your fantasy football questions, who to start, who to sit, that kind of deal. But you guys may be having your draft this weekend. Season starts a week from tonight, Lions and Chiefs. We're going to give you a few extra tips before before you have your draft. We'll have you get those in, maybe learn you up a little bit at the last minute here before the season starts. So our pal Jamie Eisenberg, he's going to join us coming up, of course. So how about this? Yesterday, TMZ managed to catch up with Joe Montana. That's right. And Joe Montana, how about this? Joe Montana telling you not only is he not the greatest quarterback ever, but neither is Tom Brady the greatest quarterback ever. How about this? From Joe Montana, quote, put Marino into today's game where he gets free release and his receivers, holy cow, weren't very big. Now these guys are 6'4", 6'5". I think Marino is probably one of the most unsung heroes of the game. People don't talk enough about him or realize the numbers that he put up during the times that he put them up. He had the perfect torque of his upper body and strength to deliver the ball quickly at a fast release with accuracy. So how about that? Joe Montana, not only is he saying he's not the best, he's saying Brady's not the best, Marino's the best. And now it is settled. A decades-long debate, especially here in South Florida. Marino or Montana. It's over. We have finally ended it. What are we going to talk about now? Montana confirmed. Marino, best ever. What a great day down here. Now we know. I love this. I also love it because I love when people talk about Marino and describe what he was like. And this is like an opportunity to do that. This is very talk show, television, radio, where you get to talk about Montana's comments. And it makes me feel so good that I got to see it. That I get to tell people what it was like watching Marino. Like, I always go back, man, if you're a hardcore Dolphin fan and you're like 30 years old. Let's say you're 30 years old. So you were born in 93. So maybe, let's say the earliest you started to pay attention to the Dolphins was maybe you were 6. That's Marino's last year, 1999. Now, yes, Marino won a road playoff game his last year. The last time the Dolphins won a road playoff game, 1999, at the Seattle Seahawks, who were an AFC team back then. But you didn't see Marino if you're 30 years old. That to me is crazy. You'd see Marino. How can you not have seen Marino and be a Dolphin fan? But yeah, that's where we're at now. It's the age I'm at in my life. And I love hearing people talk just about letting you know, learning you up about how amazing Marino was. He was big. The footwork, the accuracy, the confidence. Just throwing darts, a cannon of an arm. Strongest arm, amazing deep ball, the quickest release you've ever seen. So smart. He was calling his own plays out there. I love getting to hear people talk about Marino again and describe Marino. I love that. So that's cool that came out with Joe Montana. Now, and you know what? Jamie used to cover the Dolphins. Jamie Eisenberg covered the Dolphins here for the Palm Beach Post. And he's around my age. He's a year or two older than me, so he'll definitely be able to talk about Marino. We'll ask him about that. So how about this? Last night, I was on VSiN Live, which I go on with those guys every now and then. And we were talking about the Dolphins, Jonathan Taylor stuff. And it was like, do you have any idea? They asked me, do you have any idea what the Colts were asking for? And I didn't at the time. And then it comes out that apparently the Colts asked for Jalen Waddle. That's how you know the Colts are not a serious operation. They asked for Waddle in return for Jonathan Taylor. That's why this trade was always going to be difficult. Because even if you got to come to 2 agreements. It's hard enough to come to 1 agreement. You got to come to 2 agreements. And even if you came to an agreement with Jonathan Taylor, which I think they probably did if they were even negotiating with the Colts, if you come to an agreement with Taylor, then you got to deal with that kook, James Irsay. That's why this deal was always going to be difficult. Not only do you have to come up with 2 agreements, but you're dealing with it doesn't even sound like you were dealing with the GM, Chris Ballard. It sounds like Irsay is in control of this situation with the running back. And that's how you know Irsay was in charge of this scenario, because asking for Jalen Waddle for a running back in today's NFL economy, you're not a serious person. If you're asking for Jalen Waddle, you're not a serious person. So even if you came to an agreement with Taylor, you still then had to deal with the Colts. And that's why this deal was never going to go down. Here's Chris Ballard yesterday, Colts general manager, talking about, it's just a lousy situation right now.
As you probably know. I think this is true that he offered to come in if you guys would take that off the table. Is that true?
I never had that discussion about that. I mean, they asked if we would use it, and I said, well, it's a tool. Yeah, it is. It is a tool. It was CBA bargained, so I'm not like the one thing, and I told Jonathan this. I said, I don't want to say something that is not true. Right. Like, I don't want to lead him down. I don't want to lead him down a path and say, okay, give it. And then he looks at me and said, well, you're a liar. No, you're not doing to do that. You don't want to make false promises that you can't keep, especially with players, because the second you do it, you're done. Like, I know it looks not the best right now, but I know I've never lied to him. I know that I've never lied to him.
Yeah, again, that was Chris Ballard, Colts general manager. I ultimately believe that the relationship is repairable. And I think the main reason the relationship is repairable is because Jonathan Taylor probably got a glimpse of what other teams are willing to offer him in contract. And the way that the relationship is repairable is through money. That's what the money's for. So if the Colts can come around and give him a reasonable deal in that sport, in the NFL, you have to go where the money is. You can't allow personal feelings to get involved. So I do believe there's a world where that relationship is repaired and he winds up signing some type of extension. Not the one he wanted, but some type of extension. So, yeah, there you have it. Love the Montana stuff. Love that. All right. Before we get Jamie on board here, guys, one of my favorite sponsors, my guy Colin, founder and CEO of the only bed sheets we use in the ZASLOW mansion. We're talking about Sheets and Giggles. My wife and I, we have the best sleep. We're so comfortable. It's amazing. We wake up so refreshed, and it has so much to do with sleeping on the softest, the coolest, the most breathable sheets out there. I'm talking about Sheets and Giggles. The ZASLOW family, we are all four of us. We're 4 of over 100,000 Americans who sleep on Sheets and Giggles now. We're talking sustainably made from the wood of eucalyptus trees. That's right. And my man Colin, he cares about the environment just as much as he cares about us getting great sleep. That's why they don't touch any ancient or endangered forests. And 2 new trees are planted on their farms every time one is harvested. Sheets and Giggles, sheetsgiggles.com. Tell you what, can't wait for Heat and Panther season to start again after those Heat wins. And my man Colin sends out those promo codes. Use promo code Kachuk. Use promo code Jimmy. And then you get the great deals. Right now, use promo code ZASLOW. Upon your first order at checkout, you'll get 20% off. Sheets and Giggles, the only sheets I ever sleep on. Go to sheetsgiggles.com.